Hello everyone. I'm just finishing to put down my coffee so I can talk about something that intrigued me today. That I've been talking about it for a while now. Is the filter working? I put the filter and it seems like it cannot recognize my face. But well, doesn't matter. Maybe Instagram wants me to show my pure face today. Well, so, what's the deal? What's the thing for today? The thing is that I was talking to someone, and this person, he said, "What is the truth?" Vinicius today, he arrived in the beginning. Welcome, Vinicius. And what would the truth be? And that got me intrigued, because I have been talking to people about perspective recently. And I had a dream. I love my dreams. Oh my God. Thank you, God, in me that make me dream. I had a dream. Wait, where is a coin over here that I need to show a coin? In the dream, I was explaining the difference between what is the truth and what is true. Because, let's say, there is this panda over here. Okay, I can say that this panda, there are some facts. It is white. This is true. It's also gray. True. It is round. True. This is a panda. That's not the truth, because this is a stuffed animal. This is a toy. This is not actually a panda. But in the perspective, I could say that this is a panda because I see this as the image of a panda. And so I could, in my perspective, I could call this a panda, but this is just a toy. And I was talking to this guy today, and we were talking about what is the truth. When he was saying about what Jesus said, and I will not talk about what is the truth. I will talk about what is the perspective, because many people take the truth as their own perspective. Some people, they take things and say that it is the truth just because they see in a certain perspective, and they change things. They change according to your perspective. This is one of the subatomic laws. It's whatever you are observing in a subatomic level will change according to your perspective. So I had written a text that I really like, and I will read because I wrote it, so I'm gonna read it instead of just saying it again. I wrote, and what would perspective be? I'll give an example. I was sitting on a bench with Mahad. Mahad is a friend of mine from Pakistan. We were at a churchyard, and I was facing the street, while he was sitting on the other bench with his right side to the street, and his face was towards me and the church. So basically, I had my left side to the church, and I was looking at him and the street, and his right side was towards the street, and he could see what was behind me. At a certain point of our conversation, I heard a noise, and at the same time, he looked at what was behind me. I also did, and I saw a man coming from the steps of the church. He was coming down, up from the steps of the church. This man came walking, and he was looking at us. And after a while that he was walking and staring at us, Mahad asked, "Alles gut?" Mahad was there looking at the guy, because while I was talking to him, he was looking at the man because the man was like staring at us. And the man replied that everything was fine. Now, Why did Mahad ask to this random man if everything was okay? There was something in his perspective that was missing, the dog element. What I saw when I looked back was a small brown dog coming, and the man was behind it. So the dog came behind the benches, and the man, he was following the dog with the eyes, and he was looking for the dog. But Mahad didn't see the dog. Mahad was seeing the man, and the man was looking at us because it was dark. By the way, it was dark because it was already 10 p.m. and it was raining. And the man, he was looking, but the dog was behind. I saw the dog. Mahad did not see the dog. So when he realized and the man showed that there was a dog over there, Mahad was like, oh my God, I didn't see that. And he was explaining to me, Mahad was explaining to me that when he saw the man, he thought it was a priest. Merhaba. he thought it was a priest, and the leash was a bead because he didn't see the dog. So we started to talk about the influence of the perspective in the reality. Because in his mind, the man, he came from the church, right? So he didn't see the dog. He saw a shadow. He told me that what he saw when he looked was a big shadow. And then he was like scared because it was a very big shadow. I only heard the noise. I didn't see any shadow because I was looking at him and he was looking what was back of me. And the simple element that he didn't have, that I had, the dog, made him create in his head a complete different meaning to what was actually happening. As well as when we hear someone talking to us, we don't quite understand what the person said, and our brain starts to find a suitable meaning to the sound we heard. And the one that fits the best is the one that we assume we heard, instead of asking again what the person actually said. This is one thing that happens a lot with a person has a problem with communication. They hear something they didn't understand, but the brain starts to find like a suitable word for that sound that the person was making. So the person assumes that they heard that, but actually they didn't hear that. It was just an assumption, a creation of the brain to the perspective. Okay, not only assuming is a mistake, but also not understanding the other person's perspective on what they're saying is the incompleteness of the interaction. You see, we could only understand completely the statement of a person through two ways. We could understand by knowing 100% of the background of this person or being empathetic and neutral. The second option can only be possible when you clean yourself completely from ego. And this can only happen when you have awareness of the self. So what happens is, when we see something, and our perspective will create a judgment to give a meaning to that. So when we start to assume that something is happening because of that reason, it is not the truth. It is what our minds tend to judge into the truth because we have a background with that meaning. So the perspective will shape the reality according to your perspective. Your reality is only that way because of your perspective. When you start to change your perspective into something like you are doing, it is happening in your life, when you change the meaning and you actually change what is happening. So the things that happen to me in someone else's perspective will have one meaning, and another person will give another meaning, and many different others will have different perspectives on what is happening to me or what I'm doing or what I'm saying based on their background. So it comes the judgment. But for you to understand the truth, because truth and true are different. Truth will be the whole as it is, not looking at what is true or false. Because when you change perspectives, the false can become true based on the perspective. But truth is unchangeable. You cannot change the truth, because the truth is, but the perspective and the true thing, the true fact can change. So to understand the truth, you have to detach completely from perspectives. Because as long as you are inside of a perspective, you don't see it as a whole. So you need to be neutral and remove yourself from the ego to understand and see 100% of the existence of that thing. So this is why understanding yourself and understanding how you are staining your reality is important to understand and be even empathetic with others. Because the perspective will make the things completely different according to what is happening. Something that is happening right now, I will give it a meaning, and later it will be another meaning, because maybe my emotions influenced, maybe the environment influenced, maybe many things, many facts could be influencing the way I perceive that reality that is happening right now because of the perspective. But when I have no perspective, because or you have perspective, or you have no perspective, or perspective does not exist, I can see the truth as it is. Because truth is, there is no truth was, truth will be, truth is, because it mutable. I think I'm making up some words in English, but doesn't matter. It's just perspective, right? So as you can see, it's unchangeable. Truth is unchangeable. You cannot change truth because it is. So when you start to detach yourself, from the view that you are receiving, because even the eyes, the brain will fill up the things as your mind creates. For example, when you are in a dark room, and you can only see some shades, some shadows, some things, your mind starts to try to make shapes out of things. You start to see things over there, but they are actually not there. It's just a creation of your mind based on the background that you already have. You already have some kind of information in your head, and your brain, because your eyes are deceiving you, you are trying to decode something in your head that actually does not exist. So you cannot see properly. You cannot see because it's dark. So your mind starts trying to give a meaning to that shape you see. So this is why many people are afraid of darkness, because they see something and things start to move. But it's not the darkness that is bad over there. It's because the mind, the brain starts to fill that gap. It starts to create things that are actually not there. This is the perspective. You start to look at something and it starts to shape itself, like in a dream. You know, when you are dreaming and you look at something and you have that intention that, for example, you have this character in your dream, and it's quite dark in the dream, and you're gonna look at it, in your heart, you feel like the eyes will start moving. Instantaneously, it will start moving because you made it move. So you create that intention, and because of that intention that you had, the eyes of the thing will start to move. And this also in reality, whatever you intend, whatever you think about, whatever you put to fill in the gap of the lack of information that you are having will actually happen. It will become the truth for you, but it's not the truth. It is just true. It is true, but not the truth. Because the truth will take everything that is true and false and be. Can you follow my thought? Can you understand the information I'm giving? Is it too complex, too complicated? I need a sip of water just to write on the comments, because I can make it easy to understand. That was basically it that I wanted to explain, because many people, they are all the time so sad and suffering because of something that is happening, but actually they are just sad because of their perspective. So the way they look at things, the way you look at things is the way it is for you, because your perspective can make it good or bad. It's not being pessimist or optimistic. It's about understanding the laws of nature, because the way you look at something is the way it is, because it's your reality. Nobody can make my reality be in a way if not me. So nobody can make me look at things in a way that is not my way of looking. I can find some light from other people to lighten up or change the pattern of thought that I have, but nobody can make me think in a certain way. So if your life is bad or good, it depends on the way you're looking at it and your understanding. This is why living is so easy and so difficult at the same moment, same time, the same. I was talking to my mother and she was so happy. She was like, "Oh my God, life is so wonderful for those who are wonderful." And it is the truth. Life is the way it is for those who are. I am good, life is good. I am bad, life is shit. So the way you see, the way you perceive things, the way things are, is based on how and who you are. It's your perspective. We are experiencing the same life in different perspectives. And when you start to become envious or jealous of what people have because you don't have it, start to look from their perspective and understand what they did, that they got that, so you can do it as well. Or at least shape yourself to do that. You have to start shaping your mind. As I already talked about programming, you have to start programming yourself to be in a certain state of mind so you can change your reality, because you can. It's possible. It's your reality. You can do whatever you want with that. People will say that I'm being delusional, but, well, say whatever you want to say about me. Because I am me. And nobody can say anything about me. You understand that? Nobody can say to you that you're being delusional by what you are living, actually. I am free, and I am not being delusional about this freedom, because I can explain. It would be a delusion if I was faking. If that was not my essence, that would be delusion. But being who I am, and I come and I want to make people to understand that, because once you see the freedom that you have, you want people to have this freedom as well, because you want people to accompany you in your journey. And as I can explain why and how I am free, that's not being delusional. Delusional would be me creating in my head a character that's not actually real, that I am just making up some kind of personality that is not existent, that is imaginary. It is not true, and I cannot prove it true for myself. But if I can explain, and if people ask, you just have to ask questions, so you will understand the truth. I love this word, truth. Truth is amazing. So yeah, I hope I have explained properly about perspective, and I will come back later to explain about perspective. And I just want to give you all an advice. Get rid of anger and hatred, because many people are living based on anger, sadness, hatred, and just living and blocking any kind of new knowledge that they are getting. So they want to acquire knowledge to fight against knowledge. So open yourself, open your mind, open your heart for the truth, and stop fighting. Stop making every conversation that you have with anyone an argument. Be free. Whenever you get angry because of someone else or something that someone is saying, you are being a slave, emotional slave of this person. So let go. Just let go of any kind of emotion or any thought, because emotions and thoughts and anything that you experience is not who you are. You are the master of all of this. So that's an advice for today. I just felt that I needed to say that, because many people, they are just talking, and they are talking to prove themselves right. They are not talking to have a healthy exchange of knowledge, exchange of thought, exchange of anything. They are just trying to prove that they know something, not to exchange and do the good, but they want to show that they are good. Don't be that person. Let go of hatred, anger. Just be with love. Open your heart, be humble, be wise, be open to learn and grow. So, thank you for following me here and watching. Who was here? The person that was here just left over here. So, yeah, I wish you all a good day, and share this live stream, because many people need to understand that. And thank you. Thank you a lot. Goodbye.